guys. I hope you guys are doing amazing wherever you are in the world. My name is Boom Shaka, and as always, I welcome you to my channel. And I hope that you guys learn from the channel. I hope that you guys are able to become the best version of your INFJ self or your general self as much as possible. In today's video, I wanted to speak to you guys about how INFJs have this interesting way of protecting themselves from the energies of everyone around them. It's actually really funny because I never realized that this was a part of my personality until someone pointed it out to me. I have this tendency, if I'm in a restaurant or even if I'm in a yoga studio, in a yoga class, or even when I'm in bed, I like to have my back against some kind of physical structure. Some kind of wall, some kind of pillow, something that protects at least my posterior. So if I'm not protected from the front, if there are people in front of me and they're sending their negative energy or energies in general towards me, negative or positive, I like to know that at least my back is covered. And it is covered with a physical structure which is inanimate. It doesn't have any negativity or positivity to it that I can really feel in comparison to all the human beings around me, right? And so I really like having my back against the wall. So whenever I sit in a restaurant, I don't like it when I'm sitting on a chair and there's a bunch of people behind me. Not only because they can always see what I'm doing and I feel like there's a spotlight on me and they can see what I'm eating and how I'm eating and what I'm saying and all that stuff. I feel like I'm not protected or I don't have privacy. But not only for that reason, obviously, but also because when I am right in the middle and there's people that are around me or they're behind me, their negative energy or whatever they're doing behind me is coming towards me, right? Now, I don't know what they're doing. They might be fighting behind me. They might be having a great conversation, a positive conversation. But all of this intense energy that people send in general, that's just a normal way of human beings, is coming towards me. And I don't know what is coming towards me. And that kind of not knowing is scary because I can't control myself or I can't protect myself against it because I don't know what's coming at me, right? I love booths for that reason because, you're very protected. There's a wall surrounding almost entirely the whole table and, there's no one behind you and mostly there's no one in front of you either because booths are so private. I love them for that reason. But mostly what we're going to do is we're going to sit with our back against the wall. That's how usually the restaurants are arranged. That's how usually yoga studios are arranged. That's how usually most places in the world are arranged. If you're in a coffee shop, I'll always look, I'll first of all find all the exits, of course, but also I'll look to find a seat where I have my back against the wall. And also, not only that, but I'd like to find a seat where I am watching the entire shop or entire restaurant or entire studio. I like to know where everyone is in space and what they're doing and how they're moving and what emotions they're gathering and all that stuff. I like to know where everything is. So that's why I like being against the wall and I like watching the entire room. So being in a corner, any kind of corner is the perfect spot for an INFJ. And you'll notice that even if you're not aware of it, I don't actually do this consciously. I don't actually go in and be like, okay, I need to search for a corner. I need to search for a private spot. I need to search for a spot where I feel safe, where my back is against the wall. I don't actually think about all these things consciously. I hope not. But what I do is I go into a room and instantaneously I'll know the 2 or 3 spots where I'm going to feel the safest. Now, as you guys know, in a yoga studio or in a yoga class, you can't really have your back against the wall, right? But you can be in a corner, preferably not in a corner because you can't really see the teacher. So a lot of times in a yoga class, I'd have to be either in front of the teacher or close to the teacher or in a spot where I'm surrounded by people. And it was really interesting to me for the first few times I had to take a class like that. I really had to get used to the idea of being in the middle of all these people. Not only because we're doing such an intense workout, and that in itself produces a lot of emotions, but also the fact that, I am doing this really intense workout myself, and I'm cleansing myself, and I'm cleansing my body, and a lot of toxicity is coming out of me, toxic emotions, toxic ideas, thoughts, whatever. And so in that, I wanted privacy. I don't want to do this in front of everyone. Now, of course, I do my yoga class or my yoga session on my own. I have my own mat, and I have all my poses that I do, and I'll just do it on my own. I just sit in my own room, and I don't go to classes anymore because I find that I find it too much. There's so much going on around me, and the more empathic I become, or the more connected I become to my empathic nature, I find that it's really impossible for me to disconnect from all the emotions. So instead of actually doing the class, instead of actually doing the poses and doing all the stuff that I need to do, I am being inundated by all of these amazing, crazy, intense emotions from all the people around me. And so I can't really focus on my yoga class. I could turn all that off, but that means I'm turning off myself as well, which means that I'm not getting the full benefit of the yoga class that I could, right? So that in itself is an interesting conundrum. The same thing happens when I'm in a conversation with a really awesome person and I'm really open and I'm really talking to them about everything, and we're in a space where we're pretty surrounded by people. It's really, really important for me to find that balance between opening myself up and, being open with this individual and talking to him or her, and also realizing that I need to protect myself and close myself off because there's a lot of random shit going on around me and I can't really have all that stuff coming into me, because then I'm going to sit with it and I'm going to go home and I'm going to have to deal with it over the next few days, few weeks, and it's really, really tiresome. That's one of the reasons why INFJs spend so much time on their own, not only because we are dealing with all the emotions that we have gathered over the time that we've been outside, but also as soon as you go outside, there's so much stuff to deal with. And you think to yourself, how am I supposed to do this? How am I supposed to go outside and deal with all of this emotion, negative or positive? I'm supposed to deal with that and then come back home and just be normal. It's not possible, right? It's not possible for us to do that. I hope this makes sense to you guys. I don't know if you guys have the same kind of tendency of wanting to hide behind a booth, or have your back against the wall, or protect yourself in that manner. I'd love to hear from you guys. Let me know what your protective mechanisms are, protecting yourself from the energy in this world. Again, thank you so much for listening, for watching, and for being on my channel. If you guys have any questions at all, message me anytime. All my contact information is in the description below, and I shall see you guys in the next video. Bye for now.